Hi everybody. Special deluxe video today for intrepid viewers. I'm with Tarot's apprentice, Johnny. Hi there. It's a miracle we've got this together, really. Get off to a wobbly start. I went back to bed, but here we are. Okay, so we thought the first issue to kick off with today is Trump and Pompeo meeting with Lavrov and someone else of the Russian delegation. It's actually really strange that they are so upfront about this. So what do you think, Johnny? What shall we
Well,
ask
the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I'm like, okay, so if you get a diplomat come across the water, then you're supposed to meet with them, right?
Yeah.
But if your entire presidency has been plagued by Russian collusion, I would stay so far away from Russia, I forget how to spell it. So it's like you get the foreign minister or foreign relations or foreign affairs minister who came into a spy, basically, comes into the Oval Office, everybody's head explodes. Now he comes back again. You meet with him, Pompeo meets with him, your personal lawyer is in the Ukraine talking about Russians right now. So the no collusion just falls apart. So what were they talking about? This is not something we were invited to. So
yeah,
let's see.
it's bizarre. Okay. Russians. What's happening with Trump, Pompeo, and the Russians? I'm just using the traditional Rider-Waite for this.
You get accused of robbing the bank. So then you spend the rest of your life standing outside of banks with a ski mask on.
That's right. And a lump in your pocket.
Yes. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right.
Okay.
And this old holdall that's empty.
And this is all coming about, of course, while he's going through an impeachment trial.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Now, mind you, they said they were going for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress instead of obstruction of justice because they figured this one is easier to prove.
Yeah.
So they can get obstruction of Congress because they have proof. They can get abuse of power because they have proof. Mm-hmm. Obstruction of justice, I think they have proof too, but they don't want the whole wobbly thing of maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Manufactured doubt, as they call
it. Yeah. Well, let's see what's happening here. Okay, here we go. Okay, do you want me to start?
You go right ahead.
Okay. On top, the greedy king, the king of pentacles. It's hard to know which one of them it is, but look, Trump's at the apex of this arrangement. So it's him, but I think symbolically it's all about these men who are hungry for money, power, influence, and the key point of this card is never enough. Never enough. And that's followed by the Four of Pentacles holding on to money and information. And so actually I think it's hard to know whether they are so oblivious to the rest of the world they just don't care and they do this flagrantly, or whether they are a bit worried that, you know, he might be out, so they've got to hedge up the money in the arrangement.
When you say oblivious to the rest of the world, I was doing a reading the other day, and the Four of Pentacles, something about it stood out to me, that the person in the card is outside the city.
Ah.
And so he is clinging and holding on to everything, but all the resources are technically behind him.
Oh, and probably in Cyprus or the Seychelles.
Yeah.
So
he's very oblivious.
That's a really good insight into this card. And I think that's exactly what it's talking about. Where the hell are we going to hide it all? Mm-hmm. Then the Hanged Man. So you have to think things are stalled for a moment. Like, they're going ahead with this meeting today, and yet the impeachment is right on the horizon. Not on the horizon, it's in the room. I mean, really, it's a reader's challenge, isn't it? And then going out, we have the Knight of Wands, push-pull. So here you have a room full of Yetis, you could say, right? Bumping chests in the room. This is my push-pull night. So I think it'd be those going, yeah, we'll do it like this. And others going, maybe we should just take a moment with the hangman and think this through. No, why think this through? We'll just do it. You know, there's that bravado aspect. And then my mini outcome, Queen of Swords. Let's hope it's Pelosi, you know, or somehow legalese. What did you get?
So I get the work. This is his presidency.
Yeah.
There's chaos surrounding it. I get a night too. This is that one who sort of charges in, kind of bull in a china shop. Now, mind you, these in particular people is what caused him all this strife again. But their guy is possibly on the way out, and I think they can possibly see that too.
Yeah.
And so we need to get in there and do whatever we need to do before your hand's no longer on the pen. Because there is the Two of Wands, which is very interesting in this one because, you know, it's supposed to be an overseas thing in the world of possibilities, but this seems like this seems more Two of Swords than it does Two of Wands because there's sort of this entanglement. And
they're like the rams butting heads.
Yeah.
And that's what I was just saying too. In this meeting, you've got all these huge male egos on display.
Yeah.
And I don't think they get on that well behind the scenes.
Not at all. The Ace of Swords, which is supposed to be clarity and truth, which is a big giant snake wrapped around this sword. So it's like you get these messages that all is not well. And then I get, you know, the celebration and all that, but it's crossed with the Nine of Wands.
Yeah.
So there is possibly a come to Jesus meeting that they're having to where you were supposed to get us this. We don't have this.
Yeah.
So right now we need you to get your pen because, mind you, the Five of Pentacles is my outcome.
Oh,
so
ouch.
Somebody is possibly on the chopping block, but because he still owes them money.
Yeah.
He owes us an explanation in jail time. He owes them actual money.
Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. Okay. Well, I think we could safely say this meeting isn't going to be warm and fuzzy.
No.
And the problem that Putin's got with Trump, which is what everyone's got with Trump, is he's so unreliable. He can't stick with anything for half an hour. So, you know, Putin, I think, would have sent a very savage message with these guys.
And it reminds me, Putin, I always thought to be a bit more intelligent than most because he's very corrupt and very cunning.
Yeah.
But even he should have known, just like Papadopoulos, Gates, and Cohen, the closer you get to this foolish person, the more heartache you get.
Yeah.
So he should have known that too. But oh well, fools rush in.
Yeah. Well, Johnny's come up with an interesting question for us today too. Because of the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden scandal, and we from the middle and the left sort of tend to bat it away, you know. But we thought we'd have a look. Is there anything to the actual scandal itself?
I've never read on
that.
And Trump said there's corruption there, but he doesn't send his Secretary of State. He sends his personal lawyer.
As you would.
So he's trying to get dirt and not corruption eradicated.
Yeah, totally.
But that's, you know, I did a video on Obama and I turned the comments off on purpose because I knew it was going to start a fight. Because the left does not like to look at its own stuff.
Yeah.
when we held Avenatti as a hero, and then all his crap started coming out.
Yeah.
And people said, well, I still like him. Okay, I didn't tell you this information so you would hate him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this information because that's what I do. And so it's the same with, Joe Biden. People may like him. People may like Hunter Biden, but that doesn't mean he's not corrupt.
Yeah.
But I never looked at it, so let's look at it
Yeah,
now.
I think that's a good one. Let's do it. Okay, Joe and Hunter Biden. What's the story there? Joe and Hunter. Okay, do you want to lead off on this one?
So my very, very first card, there is an action. With the Ace of Wands, this is sometimes, for me, like forceful action, since our wands are activity. It is crossed with the Two of Swords. So there is a bit of lost in thought, or sort of maybe your logic and your emotions were not aligned. And so you didn't make a proper decision or a decision at all. But even no decision is still a decision. The Chariot, that is crossed with the Tower. So there is an action here. Something that required a lot of effort, but something did not end well. I get the 10 of Pentacles. So this is money. This is a lot of money. This is possibly money that has traced back to the family. So maybe this is something Biden knows about, but it does have something to do with the actions of a child. So there is something there. I didn't pull a whole lot of cards. That's all I pulled. I don't know exactly what is here, but it does involve money. It does involve a child. It does involve an action. And there is an ending to the whole situation that did not come as expected. So he made a very bad decision.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get warm and fuzzy cards, speaking of that, so either. So on top, leading off with the hostage situation. So I suspect this is referring to Joe Biden, the father, now being hostage to this whole crisis.
Yeah, because now he has to answer for it.
Yeah. Then the Hermit, like it was behind closed doors and all of that, hard to get access to, and a little bit of illumination on it. Then together they get the Nine of Swords. So it's basically screwed them both over. They are still actively embattled in this issue. So, in other words, to answer our question, if they were squeaky clean, this would be stressful, but I'm not getting a totally squeaky clean thing about this. Then the outcome, Ace of Swords, because there will be people looking at all this for some time to come.
There is a Republican right now. He is a face in the news, so he's like a national figure. He said right now, if Joe Biden is elected, he is going to work to try to get him impeached on this.
Look, this raises another issue about Biden too, apart from being, dare I say it, sorry to be ageist, I'm not a spring chicken myself, but he would be the oldest pres. Now, you don't want that to go against your name as your only credential, do you really? And his heart's not in it. I've never felt it was in it, even before this stuff. But the thing too with this, I suspect Hunter Biden got headhunted because his father was the VP, right? Now, the thing is, often with these things, they're not illegal, they're immoral. And if we're going to have a day where we're being a bit critical of the left, it's the same with the Clintons and Whitewater. It was not illegal, but you know what? It should have been.
Just like the Clinton Foundation and the Saudi money. She never answered that question.
Yeah.
And they received Saudi money, and everybody kind of knows it. But it's not illegal, but it wasn't right either.
And I think these loopholes have to be closed. And if anything comes out of all this avalanche of crapola, it has to be that we, in every country, because this is a global issue, we have to close these loopholes. I'm sick of big companies avoiding tax and going, oh, well, it's legal. Well,
Yeah.
why is it still
Right.
legal? I heard that argument 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
Anyway,
GE
I won't
doesn't pay.
rant.
Amazon doesn't pay. Apple's $1 trillion company. They don't pay.
Yeah. And yet Gloria with the hairdresser salon in Arkansas has to
Yeah,
pay, you know.
I gotta pay.
Me too. Just paid it this week. Oh, I'm still hurting.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
gonna
we're
be.
going to have a look at Buttigieg now too, because his star is sort of taking a bit of a bashing, isn't it, really?
He has recently did a series of, I guess, little interviews and shows, and he did a closed thing, closed to the press, but he was answering questions from the audience. And he had another press event that was it was small, but it was recorded. Everywhere there's a person, there's a camera.
Mm.
So it was recorded, and they were basically saying, why won't you or someone in your campaign disclose where you get your money?
Mm.
And he said he didn't have time to answer that question, so then he left. Because it was towards the end of the thing, but that was one he made sure he avoided. Mind you, he stood there while you asked him the question.
Yeah.
But after the question came out, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go. So why won't he disclose where his money comes from, or why won't he disclose how much money he has?
Okay.
Is he afraid that we're going to dislike the source? But now, mind you, in that same interview, you go down in the comments section, and all of his people see that basically, I used to like him, but he seems corrupt and sneaky. I like Yang, so I'm voting for him.
And that's what we'll do next. We'll have a look at Andrew Young.
As he seems to be losing his supporters to Yang, but he's using his supporters to his own message, I believe.
Mm. Okay. What's happening with Buttigieg and his money?
Oh, boy. Now, my first card is justice.
Wow.
So there is, I'm going to not be judgmental. I'm going to say this is balance.
Okay.
Instead of something illegal. It's a balance, but it's crossed by the 4 swords. Ooh. So I believe this is where my mind is going, that someone is trying to buy him. This is basically what campaign donations are anyway. Mm. Even us as private citizens, we give you the money because you're voting for our interest. Mm. So I think what's happening is there are certain things that maybe he can change if he's president, or look the other way, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. There is something he needs to rest upon, or sort of deregulate, or something like that. Around the money is the 8 of Swords. So this is where I get he's being bought. He's being powerless. This is powerless or sort of bound and trapped by someone's money. So someone is buying him. There's the new person, whoever this is, and it's crossed with anxiety, so a little stress, a little worry. So I think wherever this is coming from is causing him the powerless and the anxiety. So I said a long time ago that I didn't do readings on him because of it. I said something about him I don't like. And I always had that feeling. That's why I never did readings on him, because I thought I would be swayed by my own, I guess, prejudgment of him, because I didn't have anything to rest upon. So I didn't say anything because I didn't have any proof or nothing. But the more he talks, the more I listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for him, I got the 4 of Wands, diminished celebration. So things were going astronomically well, you know. But this is also the card of falling short. Right? And so for those of you learning tarot, you know, this is a weird perspective. You have these huge wands, you have the 2 people celebrating, but the people behind, which is hard to see in this camera, are looking away. So I think people are falling away. He's very strategic, he thought, but he's naive on some level, and he didn't see this coming. He was so busy looking at, you know, his greatness and his potential that I think he missed that. This is the greedy king again. I don't think it's so much him and personal greed. It's these are the ones who are the problem for him now. Like you say, the ones that have tried to or managed to actually secure large donations with a nudge and a wink, right? Now, these two cards together are interesting. The Hermit and the Knight of Swords. So because they're side by side, I think this is what he's weighing up now. Do I pull out and then I'm dead in the water? Actually, if I pull out now, it's not the best strategy because I can't run in 2024 sort of thing. Not can't, but it's not that good to do it. But he's drawn between or torn between that and going into the fray big time again, you know, putting another huge impact and impulse into the campaign. So I don't think he's made up his mind whether it's fight or retreat. That's what
I think you're absolutely right. It got to, and when you say about the Four of Wands, and then the Two of Wands, the person is holding the sticks are not out of proportion with him.
No.
He is almost the same height. He at the very least can control these in particular wands.
Yeah.
But you get to the four and now they're gigantic and you're way down here. So it got away from him.
Yeah.
And that makes total sense.
Cool.
I don't think he was a horrible person. I just think that he got caught up in the political game on a bigger scale than being mayor.
Totally. And look, he could learn from all this. He could completely reinvent himself for 2024. You know what I mean? Going, I learned a lot, you know, and clean up his act.
Yeah.
Or not.
But one who seems to have it is Andrew Yang. He is, I believe, trying to qualify right now still.
Yeah.
For the next debate.
And I like him. I think the biggest thing he's got on his side is he doesn't have to care in the same way as a lot of the others. You know, he's prepared to put, you could tell he's oozing energy. He's got energy to burn. He's got great ideas and all of that. But it's not going to crush his world if he doesn't get this gig.
Yeah. And he has that thing that Donald Trump appealed to the right when he was the outsider.
Yep.
Andrew Yang has that appeal just to the left. It's like he's not bought by big companies. Not only that, he's taking them on by saying these people need to pay taxes, which is like like the red letter word for the left. When you say rich people need to pay something, they love to hear that type of stuff. And so he's got a really good message. But on top of that, I think people believe he's actually genuine about his message. And not just rhetoric to get elected.
Yeah.
Will his support go up? Will it go down?
Okay. Yeah. Andrew Yang, where's he going in this round?
Because he may not be a DNC favorite.
He won't be. It's like the Bernie blackout. Yeah. I haven't seen Bernie's face or an utterance. You know, that's scandalous.
They like Joe Biden. He's the DNC's guy.
Yeah. And he's okay. Andrew Yang.
So
what you got?
My Queen of Cups is my support card. And then it's crossed with the Two of Cups. That's where his support, the only way he's going to get in is if enough people vote for him. Do not think that the DNC is going to get behind him at all.
No.
Now, this is my GOP, not GOP, but this is my Democrat card. But this is harmony. But in order for him to get it, this is the Chariot. There's going to be a lot of work that y'all are going to have to do. It's like this is his fight, sure, but he can't win it unless y'all vote.
Yeah.
Temperance, working together. Three of Cups, celebration. The only way he gets in is with that Two of Cups, with that support. All the rest of his cards are fantastic, but this one is the most important. If
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't get the support from the outside, he's not going to get it from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way he makes it through.
All right. Well, for him, I got on top the Knight of Wands, and there's this push-pull energy to the Knight of Wands, and I think that's what he brings. He brings radical ideas going forward, but he also, being extremely wealthy and successful and an embodiment of the American dream and all that. So he brings these qualities to the table of being out there, but also a smart guy who has some degree of patience, that he can bring people on board. He also seems to really appeal to youth with that. It is a crossroads. Here's the Two of Swords again. You know, it's up to the people. Then I got the Justice card, and I was wondering what that was about. I've got two thoughts on that. One is, if there's any justice, he should at least be given a fair go and not ignored. But it's also my social justice card, that he comes with a shitload of money and at the same time a social justice conscience. But because it was the justice card, I drew a clarifier for it and got the compromise. And I think that's the story about whether the Dems can see the light that he is exuding or not. This is not about him compromising. This is about them. Can they get their heads around him? And I'm not entirely convinced they can, because here comes the conflict. So I think he's good enough that he's going to throw a real spanner in their works. You know, those who'll want him and those who don't within the Dems. Outcome, though, the Lover's card, he's very persuasive. And I agree with you. If he can get the votes, if people keep talking about him and so forth, he's got a really good chance. I hope he doesn't get bored with the whole political rubbish before 2024.
Yeah. And even if he doesn't get in, I would like to see him continue.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
At least run for Congress or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Bless him. All right. Now, the reading you did with Jen Lin recently, and you pulled these cards on Kim Jong-un, and you got all these queens. And when I read on him, I got female cards. Have you got any thoughts on that?
I do not.
Let's just do a quick one.
It was still very odd, because I just attribute their attributes to the reading. It was like, well, maybe that's
a better way to do it, of course. Yeah.
But I still get an inkling that there were people there, or something of some sort. Something made more. I think it was something I was just missing. I think there's something there that I didn't see.
Let's just do a quick throw on him while we're both here and see what we get. What should we ask? What about his actual leadership? Is it under threat or challenge at all, or not, from within North Korea? Yeah?
Let's see.
Let's see. First off the rank is a queen.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Will I start?
Yes, I'm still looking.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Okay, Queen of Cups on top. So the card of emotions. He's a spoilt, petulant child. We know this. ruled by the emotions, but there's a mother energy to this, which he doesn't exhibit. And so I think this is about the mother country in that sense for North Koreans. A message is getting through via young people. Here's the Page of Pentacles. And despite clampdowns on internet or anything anywhere, young people have a way of going, through virtual protocol networks or whatever to access the outside world. So I think there's a glimmer of a message because it's right next to the world card. So if I put those together, that's telling me that mini story, that even if you're a complete autocrat, you cannot kill the net totally. Lies and deceit all around him, the greedy king. So these empires or stuff, they do come and go eventually. I'm not seeing anything imminent. I'm not seeing an immediate takeover or anything like that. But I think the next generation might have a different way of looking at it. What about you?
I get 3 10s. So there's some completion coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
But this is it's off. It's not tomorrow. Yeah. This is off in the distance.
Yep.
10 of Swords is the first card. But the new energy is what causes this 10 of Swords. So there is a new way of thinking or a new uprising or a new something.
Yeah.
The 4 of Cups, the complacency is where they are right now. So that melancholy attitude.
Yeah.
And when people become a little more empowered with the 10 of Pentacle, when they get someone to support them in their uprising, maybe seed money to create propaganda for your side, then the death comes, and this is a snake shedding its skin. So
wow,
they eventually, because I do get the harmony, and it is with judgment and messages.
Wow.
So it's going to take another person to come in.
Yep.
King of Wands. I didn't get a queen this time. This time I got a king, but it's cooperation with some new person, whoever that is. Wow. So he has his days are numbered, maybe 10 years.
Yeah. That's my vibe. It's not round the corner.
No. But
it is beginning to happen. And how tantalizing would it be to be stuck in North Korea when you've got South Korea that's a rage's paradise, a consumer, absolute powers going on, and all the technology at your disposal, and, the rise out of poverty in a single generation, and everything that has happened to your own people.
Yeah.
You're stuck with this boy tyrant.
Donald Trump with the different haircuts.
Yeah, they've both got bad hair.
So it is.
All right, hon. Well, wow, I think we covered some ground.
I say so.
And thank you for getting me out of bed again.
Well, thank you for waiting for me.
Oh, well, that was such fun. Look, thanks heaps. And I'd just like to send a shout out to Psychic Violetta at the moment, and love to her and her family. And a little catch up on the Australian bushfires. We've got 85 fires still burning.
I've seen pictures of Sydney it was basically all engulfed in cloud.
It is crazy. People are having to leave work because the smoke alarms keep going off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the equivalent of 35 cigarettes a day breathing in the air. But there's no climate change, so that's awesome. You just ask our Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm. That's a mess. Okay.
So you take care.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.